podcast. There's going to be a lot of spoilers in this podcast, and I'm sorry that this podcast took so long since I was refocusing on domestic girlfriend. So let's get into this. Deep Dive Podcast, and I'm your host, Gamer D. We are going to review Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 5. So let's get into this. So I really like this season since they had Kenji and Kenji's dad. The reason why I like this season is just because they made a big part of like Kenji's dad in it and Kenji. So like basically Kenji Kenji he wanted to have his dad approve her, so he will do whatever it takes to make his dad approve him or like him. And what he did was he threw his friends under the bus, and I really like that since I really like when like good guys become bad guys, or they have like a redemption arc of them becoming good again. And yeah, I did like it, but I have like this tiny nitpick that I kind of didn't like about it. So like the first thing that I kind of didn't like about it is like the Kenji becoming a good guy again. Since it was like for me, it took way too fast. It's like instead of like taking at least like probably 3 episodes or 4 episodes, they just did it like 1 episode or 2 episodes. They'd be like, okay, you know what, everybody forgive him. And I'm like, what? It should be like a step to step process of him getting for like people gonna make him like, all right, you're my friend again, so let's throw that under the bus. And I'm like, all right, all right. I'm like, all right, like if you want to do that. But the other thing that I kind of didn't like was like Family did the same thing, and they should be like kind of what's that called? Like, I don't know if we can trust Kenji. Like, I will understand if Brooklyn will still trust Kenji because like they were dating, and I was like, all right, if Brooklyn is okay, like you know want to hang out with him or trust him, I'll definitely understand about it. But if we're talking about dating, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of Fami and Yasmina because they start dating. Like, okay, like I wasn't like surprised or anything. I was just like, all right, like because it was just like hinted on. Like I think like every season it was like hinted on because like sorry, Fami and Yasmina was like getting closer and closer, and they becoming good friends. So I was like, all right, that's good. I don't mind it, but I'm like, all right, it's all good. And actually, before watching this, I was actually watching Jurassic World Dominion, and my only question when I was watching it because I already know when I was watching Jurassic World Dominion, I'm like, oh, there's like a couple of weeks um after watching this, I know in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, Jurassic World Camp will be out. So I was kind of like curious. I was like, okay, I wondered if Jurassic World Camp will be like it's kind of like a be a part of it. And it was. I was like, oh, all right, it was. It's kind of like setting it up, kind of like, oh, how did sorry, I'm like right in the middle of thinking of how biotech get they stuff. I'm like, oh, all right. I understand what's going on here. So I'm kind of like happy about that they made it like kind of like part of Jurassic World Dominion. I'm like, all right, it makes sense. That's good. That's good. And now we're gonna talk about the characters. So they have the old characters. The old characters came back, and I'm mostly talking about Dave, Roxy, and Darius' brother. And I be honest, when they brought them back, I was so like surprised because I be honest, I think they forgot about them, and I was like, I think they're just gonna continue it, and then they'd be like, oh, we kind of forgot about them or something like that. And I was really surprised. I was like kind of caught off guard. I'm like, wow, actually, pretty good job because I feel like Jurassic World have like so many characters that I feel like they might already like forgot some characters, and then I think one of them it was Dave and then Roxy, and they definitely Darius' brother. But nope, they showed up. And I'm like, oh, that's good. That's good. All right. So this is how I feel about the ending of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. I'm actually like I was pretty happy about the ending because like they showed them older, and I'm like I like it. Like I don't mind anything like being older. Like I was really happy about it. I'm like, you know what? Because like I kind of wondered like what they look like when they get older and what they do after Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. And I heard that some people are saying like there's a season 6 coming. Like I only see a season 6 coming if like Yasmina and Ben needs help in the computer chases, and then they'd be like, "Hey guys, we need help. Something's happening like really bad, so we need your help." And I just see that as season 6, and then I'm gonna be surprised if season 6 they're gonna mostly focus on them being older, like doing stuff like because there's like some dinosaurs in the city where like Darius and Kenji living in now. And I was like, I'm seeing that as like not a season 6, but like a new series that they're making. But if they put that in like season 6 of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, I'd be okay with it. But it's like it's kind of weird just because like it's not like in like Jurassic World like universe kind of. And yeah, that's it for this podcast. If you guys like this podcast, hit the like button. If you a new person checking out this podcast, hit the subscribe button because I will do more podcasts like this. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.